Dear Africans, if you know you come from a landlocked country, as we are deceived in geography, we are declaring a war on countries which are not landlocked. Every landlocked country like Uganda, we are supposed to have a route owned by us. We can even construct it. Just show us where to pass. We construct a route to the ocean. And we are supposed to own it like someone owns an embassy in another country. Every country has a share on the ocean. The ocean is not owned by any country. Stop this business of smearing oil on the issue. The issue is landlocked countries are clear enemies of those countries near the ocean. If you don't want this war, please speed up the process. We are supposed to construct routes from Uganda to the Indian Ocean. Routes from Uganda through those other countries to the other ocean. If we wish, we can even construct a route northwards. We can even construct a route southwards. If you don't want us to do so, provide those roads or those routes that where you can transport our commodities from the ocean freely as if it is an embassy. We are declaring war. Kenyans, if you love the ocean so much, we shall fight you and you run, then you go and stay on the ocean. For us, we remain on the land. But every landlocked country, you have a full right over the ocean. Because the ocean is not owned by that country near the ocean. No, the ocean is a universal source. This means everyone has a right. You construct a road from your Rwanda through Uganda, through Kenya to the ocean, or from Rwanda through TZ to the ocean. Now you, who thinks that you are near the ocean and you are delaying this process, this decision is to take effect. We are your enemies. We have declared a war against you. At least we have got a modern war issue. Museveni has warned about it. Now it is going to start and it will not end until when we either become one country as Africa, or these countries near the ocean open up and let us construct the roads to the ocean so that we can use them as we use our embassies. They should be owned by us, no taxes, no what, because everyone should have a free route to the ocean. Yes. His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now, this is not your war. You have fought so many wars, and this is our generational war. You have opened our eyes. That's enough for you. Thank you so much. Now just sit back and watch. Kenyans, make sure you provide that land, that space. We are going to construct our road from Uganda to the ocean. This is not something to ask. If someone fools you because he's a motivational speaker, because he's a blogger, because he's a motivated leader, someone who wants votes from you, you have been discussing these things at that level behind the doors and we didn't know what was going on. But now, Museveni has told us what was going on behind the doors. There has been a delay and this thing is affecting every Ugandan. It is affecting everyone who is landlocked. The war has started. The war has started. Kenyans and the people who are near the oceans, we want routes from landlocked countries through your countries to the oceans. These routes are supposed to be owned by these countries where they come from, like the embassies. Don't be fooled that the war will come in the future. Museveni has opened up our eyes and the war has started. It will elevate according to your resistance, but stand up as Kenyans and you know that as an African, every African is entitled to the ocean. This is a playground which has been provided near a flat, and every one of the flat, whether at the 3rd floor or 10th floor, has an equal right over the playground. Now the ocean is owned equally by every African. After this war, now we shall attack those so-called people who think they own all. Even they named it Indian Ocean. If it is near Africa, why is it Indian Ocean? That one would be another war. But Kenyans, Tanzanians, a country that is landlocked behind you, you provide space that will run a road to this ocean, and this space should be managed and owned by the country where it runs from. Foretold, forearmed.
Before he begins asking for a share of the Indian Ocean, can he at least ask Lake Victoria whether it is satisfied with where it is? We know he cannot ask, but seriously, he has not even had the courage to ask us whether we are also satisfied with the 40-year rain. But he's crossing to the Indian Ocean. And seriously, we should be concerned, because when a leader begins pointing at the ocean, we need to prepare ourselves. Next time he might point at the rain and declare that he owns the weather. In his defense, he claims that a man who sleeps on the 3rd floor also has ownership rights over the land. But this fight that is beginning with the Kenyans, it is like fighting with or arguing with a mosquito over the airspace rights. By the way, if we just ignore these things, one time the man might get an opportunity to climb the stairs or to just live near the ladder. Then he claims that he owns the moon. You cannot claim the ocean simply because geography annoys you. Even the mountains accept their height in silence. The truth is that before he begins measuring the distance between him and the ocean, but can he at least first measure the distance between him and the people? Because in our current situation, the man, I don't know, but if he is landlocked and feels a lot of pain the way he is feeling, just imagine us who he has politically locked. Even if he was granted the access up to the Red Sea, it is obvious that the ocean will not wash away our problems.
We are going to fight against Kenyans in future. We are going to have wars in future. This is coming from Museveni of our time, the president of Uganda, a man who has held onto power even before Jesus turned 12. Look at this headline, my people. I have to read it out for you guys to follow up. We have had endless discussions with Kenya about Indian Ocean, but that ocean belongs to me. In future, we are going to have wars, according to Museveni. I mean, the video is here. The video is here. Look at the video.
That's why we have got endless discussion with Kenya, and then this one. This one stopped, then another one comes, and the railway, the pipeline, the what, we discuss. But that ocean belongs to me. Because where is my ocean? I'm entitled to that ocean. In the future, we are going to have wars. In the future, we're going to have wars. How can you say that you are in a block of flats, that the compound belongs to only the flats on the ground floor, the compound. Compound belongs to the whole block.
I don't even know what he's talking about, but of course, he's too old, judging by his age, but he's still the president of a nation, so I'm going to respect him. But when not said and done, it is actually funny, because I don't see the people of Uganda and the people of Kenya fighting war. It won't happen. And by the way, judging by military spending ability, Kenya will beat Uganda hands down. For real. But anyways, I'm not going to say much because I'm not from East Africa, but when not said and done, what do you think about this as a Kenyan?
Uganda wants to go to war with Kenya. The president of Uganda, grandfather Museveni, has just announced that whether Kenya like it or not, they are going to shake the Indian Ocean. Mind you, the Indian Ocean doesn't pass through Uganda. Uganda is a country that is surrounded by lands. You understand? Uganda has all their bordering countries. Uganda is not a country that is beside the sea and all of that. All these countries surrounded by lands. And President Museveni's problem is that his country cannot have a navy base. That's his problems. He said his country deserves a navy base, so in case of an attack, his country can defend himself, you know. And now he says that the Indian Ocean is his own. He owns it. He owns the Indian Ocean, and he is commanding Kenya that if Kenya does not give him the Indian Ocean, Uganda and Kenya, they are going to go to war. Let me say this. I know some people in Kenya will say, oh, Uganda is a small country as compared to Kenya. But go and check. Uganda recently received military aid worth billions of dollars from Russia. What billions? For a president to stand up and say he is declaring war with another country, you have to understand that he has prepared himself for something like this. He has prepared himself. He is highly prepared. Because he knows that Kenya also is not a small country for him to open his mouth and say something like that. And you have to also understand again that Museveni has fought wars before. He fought a war to become the president of Uganda. While being in the bush, he fought a war in the bush. He was staying in the bush. He was a soldier. So he's experienced when it comes to war. Ruto is just a politician. Ruto is not a veteran. He has never fought war before in his lifetime. I don't think so. So you have to be Kenyans. Let's leave jokes aside. You guys have to be very, very careful because you guys can sit today and just see boom, bomb starts exploding in your country. And we all know Kenya has been one of the peacekeepers in Eastern Africa. If there was no Kenya in Eastern Africa today, Eastern Africa would have been a chaos. They have been one of the biggest peacekeepers. That is why they have been backed by so many countries. Russia and the United States backs Kenya. Because Kenya is the one keeping the stability. If there is no stability in Kenya, Eastern Africa will be complete chaos. So, I don't know what's happening over there, but the situation has to be settled. It has to be settled. I don't know how, but it has to be settled. One love.